Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of a replay between Root QXC and Mouz Hasu in the Xel'Naga Caverns Game 1, and I believe to be a best of 3 matchup. We have a Zealot now trying to take down the command center. The command center only has 1 armor so far, however Marines and Marauders able to quickly take that down. Army-wise, 4,000 by QXC, meanwhile 2,850 by Mouz Hasu. So Hasu is slowing down his production just a little bit, and we saw that Hasu is currently winning in the not winning in the economic game, as these probes are just trying to continue to mine back over here. There is nothing mining here, so with nothing being mined out over here, as Hasu lost this one nexus, currently running off of 1 base only. So Marauders just doing a great job just trying to stop, and now once again this medevac trying to do another drop. That one medevac will get taken down. There it goes, and down goes that last Marauder there. So now QXC once again on the move with a very large army of Vikings and Marauders. Very strong army indeed. Now currently mining at 2,100 minerals, and now with the Vikings in the air, will be able to shoot and deal a lot of damage very quickly towards those Colossi. Vikings now going to try to come in from the back instead, and now you can see the Vikings trying to engage, and Stalkers trying to engage as well. Vikings only with a range of 9 trying to shoot down that Colossus. One Colossus has been taken down. Force fields coming in as well, and his own force fields causing a little bit of trouble. So Hasu now currently stuck behind these force fields, unable to engage. Those Colossi are able to take him down, and now you see Hasu getting a lot of photon cannons, stationary defense in order to deal with this very mobile army from QXC. Army-wise, 4,300 by QXC. Production still training up more Marines, more Vikings, more Marauders, getting another command center here in order to lift off and then take this location back here. We do see proxy pylons quickly getting destroyed there, so QXC doing a lot of great job with these medevacs. Medevacs doing a lot of harassment damage, and now a Banshee coming in into the main base. Meanwhile, we are going to have a medevac drop coming in over here, so it's going to be a double action once again. We do see what Colossus trying to be off in this position. Perhaps will be able to hold off against any aggression, as this one medevac currently trying to come in. We do see the Stalker now coming in as well, so that Colossus doing a lot of damage very quickly. This drop is not going to be successful at all, but this one Banshee was able to get some kills. No kills at all, as this one Nexus still being rebuilt so far, so it was forced to get cancelled, and now this one Banshee taken down once again. So Hasu playing a very defensive game, but still able to hold on barely. We are getting some High Templars as well, in addition to researching Psionic Storm. So Psionic Storm being chrono boosted, trying to get Psi Storm in order to stop this very massive, very tight bio army with Vikings in the air. We do also see Ghost coming online. So Ghost being trained with EMP Shockwave. EMP Shockwave, obviously the counter towards High Templar. They don't have enough energy in order to cast any Psi Storm. In addition to that, down to 40 hit points, so very easily taken down. Stalkers now quickly and trying to warp in once again. Army-wise, 6,350. So just the crazy macro of QXC. QXC trying to fight back once again. However, too much damage. Feedback being dealt towards those medevacs. Vikings in the air, able to shoot down the rest of those Colossus, and with nothing to deal Psi Storm or the Extended Thermal Lance research, the rest of these Marauders should just be able to finish off this fight. Vikings should probably go into ground mode and try to finish off this rest of this engagement here, but with Hasu only mining off of 1 base now compared to the 2 bases or 3 bases of QXC. QXC also getting a high yield mineral location into that fight. I believe QXC now has too much of an economic advantage and army advantage for Hasu to try to overcome. Hasu needs to try to perhaps sneak another expansion somewhere. However, QXC has this location and this location currently scouted out with a couple of Marines. And now with 1 probe just wandering around the map, you can see that the income of Hasu very much suffering. 24 harvesters compared to 59. QXC doing a great job just holding on to this macro game. 2,500 minerals, 1 mineral patch over here, 35 mineral patches left, or 35 minerals left. That is just it. And we now see SCVs coming off the mineral line in order to auto repair all of these Vikings. So Vikings will once again be able to rejoin this fight. 10 Vikings dealing 28 damage, 280 damage very quickly. Those Vikings can pretty much almost one-shot a Colossus. However, there are now, 4 are those High Templars currently sitting on 2 High Templars. So those High Templars, if they're able to get a lot of Psi Storm off, will become very powerful. We do see a large amount of gas coming in from Hasu. So Hasu currently mining off of a lot of gas, not that many minerals. It is a very strong advantage for him to try to go more and more of those High Templars. High Templars only take what 50 minerals and 150 gas. Stalker's now on the move as well. Stalker will be able to quickly scout out this location, now try to deal damage towards those units. Missile turrets now, or SCVs now getting taken down as well. And once again, we do have a very large army, so 12 Vikings in the air in addition to Marines and Marauders. The army size just way too large. Simple attack move with this army should be enough as long as he tries to dodge any of those Psy Storms. I believe there are one or two ghosts in this army. Yeah, one ghost in that army. That ghost does have enough energy for, I believe, 2 EMP shockwaves. Point defense drone should be dropping, there we go, 1 Raven dropping there. And now, are we going to get EMP shockwave? There we go, a nice EMP shockwave across so many of those units. And now more units need to be just warped in. Once again, we do see a couple Zealots now trying to re-engage. High Templar trying to focus down a lot of those units there. So Marauders just going straight after the High Templar. Down it goes again. And now the Marauders fighting under the cover of 1 point defense drone. 1 Psy Storm able to be cast. More damage needs to be dealt. Another Psy Storm needs to come in. There we go, now merging into an Archon. Hasu trying desperately to fight back against this attack. Point defense drone in the air, continuing to intercept more and more attacks. Another Psy Storm coming in. Army-wise, 5450 versus 825. With those photon cannons, should give him a little bit of a reprieve here as those Marauders continue to push. However, another large group of Vikings and 1 Banshee simply will be able to land in here. And as soon as those Vikings engage in that ground mode, this is going to be GG. Hasu has nothing to stop the sheer amount of Vikings in the air there. Marauders and Stalkers continuing to fight back over here. And now point defense drone continue to just join in on that fight. Stalkers need to walk up this ramp. However, that Banshee will be able to get a lot of damage very quickly. In comes 1 Psy Storm dealing a lot of damage across multiple Vikings. However, the Banshee in the air should be able to perhaps start picking off some of those units. Stalkers unable to see that Banshee there. Down goes another Zealot. No Zealot charge. Zealot's trying to warp in once again. In comes an Archon. However, Archon only deals additional damage towards biological units. That splash damage would help a little bit. However, the Vikings, I believe, have just a large enough radius to not take any damage from that splash, and Hasu leaves the game. So Root QXC taking game 1 in this best of 3 matchup here in the Xel'Naga Caverns, simply out macroing Mouz Hasu throughout most of this match. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of the things that I missed. Back during a couple of these engagements here around this mark, I believe there was an engagement in order to take down this Nexus, so I'm trying to keep track of that medevac. This one Nexus over here was taken down multiple times, so Hasu just took a lot of damage pretty consistently. So once again, in comes another army. Marauders just stimming and able to take down that Nexus at 2,000 minerals a couple times. So yeah, just able to control the economic pace of the game. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Mouz Hasu and Root QXC in the Xel'Naga Caverns. Stay tuned for game 2.